How's it going, everyone? As a wise man once said, I'm back, but not doing very well. So, as you can see, 1,984 for this week's score, top 49% score. Quite terrible, to be honest. 92,000, like literally, for a Supercoach YouTuber, I don't know how I scored this. I feel like my team wasn't this bad. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't this bad. But I guess it was. Anyway, 30k overall rank, we slipped back to pretty much doubled our rank. It is what it is. So, what have I got going on here? Yeah. So, looking at it, like, okay, let's just point out a few things. Number one, that very, very clearly went against us. Probably Zorko, only a 70, for a guy we brought in for 590k. I mean, we got 130 score out of him, but since then he's been averaging about 75 or 80. What Will Ashcroft, 43, insipid. Mitch Nevitt, 40. The guy pretty much runs away from the ball. Caden Cleary, 30. Like, the guy can't buy a touch either. Not gonna lie. Like, such a massive transformation, this guy from last week to this week. Like, six tackles, seven tackles, zero tackles. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what was this guy on? Actually, I shouldn't say that. Uh, shouldn't say that. Shouldn't say that. Okay. We'll start at the top. Harry Sheezel, 86. 86, yeah, this guy's terrible as well. Like, seriously. Like, you think you're too good for the back line, you're too good to snap at it. You're not. Get back in there, get those cheap kicks, get those cheap touches, and increase your super coach score. Dane Zorko as well, not good. Matt Roberts, happy I held. I was never really gonna trade. You've got all the other people that have recency bias and everything, more prone to recency bias. They went and offloaded him. 6% of people offloaded him. It is what it is. Pretty much a reset his break even, only 79 right now. So, like, is Riley bias affecting him? Like, yeah, he is. Like, I'm not going to say he's not, but like, it's not massive. He should still probably do about a 95, which I'm fine with. Jane Short, 87. So again, did pretty much his typical thing, be on about 50 at halftime and then slow up, about a 35-point second half. It's what he does every week, except last week when he turned up. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, he's got Melbourne this week. Apparently, Melbourne are meant to be easier for defenders. I don't really think they are, though, at least in the last few weeks. I mean, I had Jordan Clark and he only scored 94 against them. So we'll see. But Richmond actually don't have too bad a run. Melbourne this week, then West Coast, then North. Obviously, that Hawthorn game in between there as well. But it's actually not too bad a run. So I'll probably try to keep him definitely for this next at least 4 weeks. When's his bye? Round 14. So after the Sydney game. Yeah, maybe I'll keep him up to his bye, or at least after this North Melbourne game. I guess we'll see what he does. By 79, it's fine. Just a rook. Again, I only brought him in after this week. So he was 200k when I brought him in. He still made 140k. So it's still definitely well worth it. His break even now is 33 though. So, that big 124 score goes out of his system, but an 89, 79 are still pretty decent scores regardless. So yeah, I mean, he should crack probably 400, 450k, you would say, quite easily. Zach Reed, look, lucky he's got that 100 in his system still, so his break even's quite low, as we just saw was 14. So, yeah, chose to field him this week, given it was against West Coast. I mean, I was only really ever going to field Reed or Traynor, so probably lucky still. I went with Reed because, again, Traynor obviously went a lot less, but again, could have fielded Pryor. But realistically, I was never considering it. Like, Jackson Pryor is a guy that I thought you could definitely field at the start of the year. But then, like, he really didn't ever look like it, besides his 78 game, I guess. But he was playing well. He played well in this West Coast game. I feel like he's played well in other games. I feel like he's been a bit underscored this year, to be honest. But yeah, he played well, took a big, like, back with the flight contested mark on, like, the verge of halftime, I believe, if I remember correctly. A long time ago now. When was this? Friday night. So, and now it's Monday. So, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, Trainer, look, again, not even his fault. Again, all the teams are doing this to the young players now, just like pseudo resting them, giving them a rest through playing them a sub. It is what it is. So, I mean, lucky I didn't field him, but he's pretty much got to go. Like, his cash is going to slow up for the next 2 weeks. Then he's got West Coast and North. I'm sure he'll score well against them, no doubt. But at the end of the day, someone's got to go. Like these guys are just rookies. At the end of the day, they're where meant to stay in the first place. So someone's got to go, and he looks pretty obvious. 74 break even. So yeah, probably going to go this week. Max Holmes, he was playing well. He was actually playing really well, like up until halfway through the first quarter. Then he went to the bench, and then it's like you had what are those guys from Space Jam called? The Monstars or something. They like took all his powers and he just didn't look the same for the rest of the game, you know? So I think he was on about 48 when he went through to the bench halfway through the first quarter. He was looking like he was on track for about a 130, 140 again. And then yeah, just didn't look like it from that point on. It is what it is. Will Ashcroft 43 again, like what can you do? Crazy, crazy bad performance. I mean, the whole Brisbane team was extremely poor. But it is what it is. Look, his run does get a bit easier now. He's a prime target I would look at to potentially upgrade this week. Just get like an Uber premium you can just trust for the rest of the year. But his run is actually quite good from now. Like St Kilda this week, again, we saw what they just dished up to the Bulldogs. You saw what the Bulldogs midfielders did to St Kilda. Bont 160, Richards what did he get, 119 or something. I think Fraser turned up. Yeah, a lot of them. Liberatore, I think, got maybe a 110 or something. So, look, I would want to keep Will Ashcroft, at least for this game. And then, of course, North Melbourne, Melbourne, 2 weeks up to Gold Coast. And Gold Coast, I mean, they're not playing at their home stadium, People's First Heritage Stadium, or whatever it's called. And, I mean, they only really play well there, Gold Coast, unless they're playing a bottom 14, which Brisbane are not. So, hopefully Brisbane should get a good win there as well. So 4 potentially easy matchups now. So I'm actually gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him. I'm thinking at this stage. Chera, this guy just continues to do really well. 107 average. For a guy we started the year at 447k. Really happy with him. But his easy run has pretty much come to an end now. Geelong, Adelaide. Adelaide at Adelaide Oval is a tough matchup. Sydney there. Sydney aren't looking that good. Again, they've got a ton of injuries themselves. But yeah, GWS is another tough matchup. I mean, Essendon, West Coast North, those are probably three easy matchups, but I'd be keeping him post by at that point, like round 15, round 13. That's quite a while away. I'd probably want him to be upgraded by then. But I mean, he's like the way he's playing, he's probably a guy you can just leave as like your last guy to upgrade. So maybe he'll be around by that point. I'm not sure. Rosie 103. So yeah, I mean he was getting a bit of that James Jordan tag. Still did well. So happy with him. Shouldn't get tagged this week by North. I am actually considering putting the vice captaincy on him. I think he should just do whatever he wants in the back half. Bailey Smith. So yeah, this guy's a bit of a dog, not gonna lie. Like doing what he did to Jarman Impey, but hey, 80's also not that good. Carlton, though, this week, that'll be an interesting game to see what happens there. You would imagine Geelong should still win. But, look, he's doing fine, whatever. Everyone's got him now anyway. So, yeah, 75% of people. So, yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. And let's see, who else do we have in here? Clayton Oliver, 91. So, yeah, I mean, got Richmond this week. Hopefully he at least tons up. He hasn't turned up since round two, although he has got a 98 and a 91. But yeah, his average has slipped to 96, so hopefully he turns up this week. To be fair, he has gotten tagged a bit as well. It's not like he hasn't. Like this Essendon game, he got tagged. Oh, I can't remember if he got tagged in this Geelong game. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. GWS, Bedford did go to Petrarca a lot, but he also went to Oliver at stoppages when Petrarca had gone forward, so he kind of got tagged a little bit there. So, look, he has received some attention this year. It's not like he hasn't, but still would probably expect a little bit better. But of course, we know he's not back to his very best, which he was like 2 or 3 years ago now. Lindsay, 55. Look, I've got hope. He's got two easy matchups now, Richmond, West Coast. So, I mean, we're saying Richmond are an easy matchup, but the way they played on the weekend was actually really good. Not gonna lie, like they really showed Gold Coast up really well. So, yeah, but I mean, with Gold Coast, it's more of a mental thing than anything. We've known that about Gold Coast for a while. They're very weak mentally, even though they've got a stack of talent on their list. But yeah, anyway, Lindsay, hopefully he goes well here. 48 and 55 since returning from injury. Definitely looks like a different player to what he was pre-injury, as you can expect. I mean, he only had the 1 week off. Maybe he would have been better with 2 weeks off, but who knows? Just the 16 touches again. He actually did have a few tackles this week, though. Yeah, six tackles in the first two games. Yeah, I think I never really looked at those stats. Five free kicks, four in the first game as well. I never really looked at these stats actually. Looking back on it, actually, it makes sense why he scored that well, and it probably points to the fact you shouldn't have gotten him in. Like, it's easy to say in hindsight because he had that injury and everything, but looking at these stats, a first year player, looks pretty relatively skinny, is not going to have six tackles in it every week, and the fact that he did for the first 2 weeks probably points to his scores being a bit inflated. So, whatever. Probably just something to take into the future. Mitch Nevitt, as I said at the start, just doesn't want the footy, doesn't want the contest. You know, like the thing is, Geelong are trying to play him as a defensive midfielder a little bit more, but it's like that's not what he was doing in under 18s. Like he was a definite bona fide just ball getter. I'm pretty sure he averaged like 30 touches in his under 18s year. And what do you have here? 7 touches? Like crazy. Only 4 tackles as well. Like if you're a defensive player, 2 tackles, 1 tackle, 4 tackles, it's not that good. Sardis Hall, Camberreali all didn't play. I'm expecting Sardis to come back into this game, to come back into the team this week. Like, Essendon nearly lost to West Coast. Nearly lost to West Coast, a team that's been that bad. So, like, again, let's just go through some of West Coast's recent matches so far. Carlton, who they got obliterated against. GWS, who they got obliterated against. This West Coast v GWS game, this was potentially like the worst game I've seen. Like the worst fight I've seen a team play. I phrased that really badly. That's like the worst performance I've seen a team have in like a long time. It's always West Coast and North Melbourne, year on year. They're just terrible. Anyway, Cambriali, maybe he gets back in, but probably not on the back of an 80-point win or whatever. Declining 100, I'm very worried about him. I think Pitnek comes into the team soon, and if he does, I'm going to offload him. Not going to wait around for him. Cherry, 144. So obviously these guys did play against each other. I mean, everyone's saying DeConning actually did like show Cherry up, in terms of actual play, but obviously Cherry scored a lot more points wise. So who knows? Boyd, hopefully he gets a game soon enough. Probably won't though. Regardless, I mean everyone's got him, I guess. So yeah. Horn Francis 94. Again, I mean, if you don't have this guy this week, he's playing his old team. You know he's gonna want to towel him up. His scoring is alright against them in the past. But yeah. Hopefully he goes well. Hopefully he turns up. Anyway, we'll see. McRae 104, I did put the captaincy on him. I mean, the thing is, like, I didn't even have that many people that scored better than him. Really, like, the only main one was Cherry. Like, Roberts, 15 more points. Chera, 6 more points. That's pretty much it. And of course, Sam Pepper, who's on my bench for 2 weeks now. That's just a terrible decision by me. 2 tons on the bench. Like, last week I fielded Zach Reed and Sam Pepper on the bench, who both turned up. This week I fielded Pryor and Sam Pepper on the bench. Pryor went 92, Pepper went 106. Again, I don't want to say it's rookie roulette. Some of it is just dumb coaching by me, not gonna lie, but a lot of it is what's it called? A lot of it is luck as well. Like I fielded Pepper. I fielded him for his 18. I fielded him for his 48. And I think I fielded him for his 74. But I missed his 83, his 101, and his 106. Prior, I think I fielded him for the 78, but I missed the 92. Zach Reed, I missed the 104. I think I did have him on field for the 88 though. But yeah, whatever, it is what it is. And who are we up to? Rankin. Yeah, I mean, he's only been going pretty mid the past 3 weeks, not gonna lie, but hopefully he steps it back up soon. Hasn't turned up since round 3. And that was against North Melbourne. And that St Kilda game, again, they pumped them in that one. He actually hasn't been super good. Maybe, maybe that calf or whatever he had is still bugging him. I don't know. Caleb Daniel, 88. I mean, he's 449k, 450k. He's already made a heap of cash so far. His scores have actually been really consistent, 101 average. So you're fine with him. Again, he can stay to this buy, most definitely. Levi. So again, he's been good, 89, another great score from him. Doubling his brother's output, over doubling, crazy. Pretty much the 90 average the last 3 weeks. He's actually going extremely well. This is a guy that I'm looking at potentially getting to 450, 400k along with Bice. Definitely going to be my last 2 rookies. bit that I leave on field before I can trade them out. So, yeah, no, they're both going really well. Happy with them, obviously. Cleary, again, it is what it is. Pal Pepper. So, just don't want to talk about Cleary. Like the last two rookies I've brought in, Clay Hall, scored like a 50, dropped. Caden Cleary coming off a 66 and 81, scores 30. Probably will get dropped. Like seriously. Then Power Pepper, yeah, this guy's amazing. Like seriously, this guy has come from the clouds, looking like a terrible trade out option. 7% of people traded him out after round one, and if you've still got him, you'd be laughing. He's going to get up to over 400k, negative 14 break even, projected to make 52k this week. He's projected to get up to 400k in 2 weeks. Like even if he doesn't make any more cash from here, he's still pretty much made about 150k, 145k. So yeah, just yeah, really good pick. It's turned out really good hold. Really happy I kept him. And to be honest, I was never really contemplating trading him either. So a lot of the time you struggle, but sometimes you definitely pat yourself on the back, and this is one of them. So Kako, look, he's gone this week. This has been not a terrible decision. At least he's playing, but not the best either. So yeah, I think he'll have to go this week. Not that he's necessarily made a ton of cash. He's only made 60k, but again, someone's got to go. Someone's got to go. And Jordan Clark, look, we trade him in. He gets his lowest score of the season. What else is new? But, it is what it is. It is what it is. He, for the first time, doesn't score at least 101 or at least 100 for the first time this season. It is what it is. So, look, it's fine. He's a safe, probably 100 average for the season. So, I'm okay with getting him. I'm okay with getting him. Okay, so, and we were going to go Gorn actually, because our original trades were to get Tom Gross and Max Gorn. But then once I saw Tom Gross got named sub on the Friday night, I was like, okay, I'm going to switch to Caden Cleary, which to be honest is still probably the better decision because I mean, Gross does have now an 11 in his price cycle for the next 2 weeks. At least Caden Cleary's is not that low. But yeah, it meant because Clayton Cleary was like 13k extra, I still couldn't get Max Gorn. And so I had to go and get someone less than like 570k. And so it was out of Jordan Clark and Isaiah Wanganeen, Matt Rowell. I think Rowell did quite well from memory. What did he score? 130. Yeah. I mean, it was against Richmond though. So again, Rowell's easy run has come to an end. And I knew he would probably score well again playing Richmond. But yeah, his easy run has come to an end now. So now they've got Sydney, then Brisbane. Then the Dogs. Dogs midfield is still good. Even though they've lost all of their great midfielders, still a good midfield. So yeah, he's going to have a few tough matchups to come now. Okay, who else are we up to? That's pretty much the team. That's pretty much the team. So trades I'm looking at doing. Look, I'm thinking of boosting, but the thing is, like, who would I even really boost? There's three guys I feel like I'm looking at that I could consider trading. But like, I'll tell you some guys, like looking at the rookies, we'll ignore the mid prices. Like a Jane Short or something I could boost out. Cherry I could boost out. Ashcroft I could boost out. Maybe even Clayton Oliver. He's got Richmond this week, so I'd probably leave him. And that's pretty much it mid-pricer wise that like I could boost out, but just ignoring them for right now. Just taking you guys through the rookies. Like Pryor, I'm not going to trade. He's got a 15 break even. He just got a 92, so I'm happy to keep him for the next week or two at least. Trainer has got yeah 74 break even. So like he once this two drops out of his price cycle, he probably will continue to make money, get to 350k, but that'll be in like 5 weeks' time. I don't think it's worth it to hold him for that much longer. Zach Reed, look, he's still got that 100 in his cycle. This is the last week of that. 14 break even. I'm happy to keep him for one more week. These guys all on the bench haven't made enough money. Nevitt hasn't made enough money. Lindsay hasn't made enough money. And I think now that his low score's gone out of his system, his 9 has gone out of his system. Again, he's got a few easy matchups, Richmond, West Coast, and his break even is only 14. So he'll continue to make some cash. Obviously, Boyd hasn't played since round one. And Kako is probably really the only other guy that I can think of. Obviously, Cleary hasn't made enough money. Ashcroft, I'm going to keep for now, same as Bice. So really, the only two guys I could think about trading this week is Trainor and Kako. The other guys I would just leave enough money. I just want to leave to keep making money. Like I think Pryor and Reed and Pal Pepper are my three good cash cows. They're all gonna. I should be able to trade them all out for close to 300k. Well, Reed would be close. I'll trade him out next week. He should be close to 300k at least. If he gets to 62, he goes up to about 286k. So that's fine. Pryor, we wait 2 weeks on him. What's he projected to get up to? Projected to get up to 326 if we wait 2 weeks, 78 and 66. Those are probably pretty high projections for what he's been doing, to be honest. But maybe say he gets to 310k. Fine. Fine with me. Pal Pepper should get up to 400k, like we were just looking at before. I mean, look at his average against his recent games against North Melbourne. He's been doing really well. And his average against North Melbourne, just in general. Can we check them? Yeah. He's averaging 89 against North Melbourne, pretty much 90. Like Sam Pal Pepper is averaging 90 against North Melbourne. He's got a high score of 131 against them. And that's from 6 games. It's not like it's a small sample size necessarily. It's not like he's only played them once. He's played them 6 times. And he's averaging about 90 against them. So I think 105 projection is fair. Who knows if we'll ton up 3 weeks in a row. But look, should get to 400k next week. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. But we will see. Okay, so yeah, looking off that, as I was just talking you guys through, Kako and Trainor have to go. So in my mind, I've only got 501k. Look, I could boost out a Reed or something like that gives me 766. And maybe that's okay. Like, what could I do if I had this cash? Maybe I go to Dacos, who I don't have. But actually, that's not even gonna. Oh, actually, so he's wait. That's Josh Dacos. Josh Dacos, not Josh Dacos. It would be Nick Dacos. It's not even gonna work anyway because I've only got 157k for 2 spots, so that wouldn't even work. What is his break even? Not Josh Dacos. 54. Yeah, so again, he's going to go up a ton, obviously, but like realistically, if Essendon is serious about tagging Clayton Oliver 2 weeks ago, there is no way you let Nick Dacos not get tagged this week. You know, Will Setterfield went and tagged Clayton Oliver last week. I can't remember if he tagged this week against West Coast. To be honest, there's not really anyone you would tag against West Coast. But like, you can't just put a hard tag on Clayton Oliver and then not tag Nick Dacos. So, you know, I'm hoping they hold him here. Will Setterfield's probably not the best tag. It's probably the first time he's ever tagged in his life, but you know, hopefully he holds Stakos at least to 100. If he gets 100, I'm calling it a win. So, yeah, okay. And Collingwood are also looking really good as a team right now. But anyway, the people I'm thinking of going this week, again, I'm not going to trade Reed because even if I boost, I can't even really get anyone that good. I can only really get up to 500k still. There's not even really anyone that good at 500k. So I'm only going to do the 2 trades this week. And for me, it's going to be Mac Harrell from Carlton, of course, and it's going to be a guy who we did have earlier on in the season. Pains me to have to bring him back because just use another trade because you know I hate wasting trades like this. But at the end of the day, it's like it's the right Supercoach move in my opinion to do so. So what am I doing here? Let me do Sheasel into there. Wait, what if I put him in here? Him in here? No, it doesn't work. So you can probably already work out from the clues I've given who it's going to be. Probably a very popular trade in this week. There's a guy with a negative 73 break even, is it? Let me do this. Oh, sorry, do this. Yeah, negative 73 break even. Matt Flynn. Welcome back to the team. Welcome back. How's it going? How's it going? So, look, Hawthorn this week should be probably somewhat difficult going up against Lloyd Meek and given it is in Melbourne at Marvel, but Melbourne at Optus, again, Max Gawn is an extremely tough opponent, but then just Melbourne as a team probably aren't that good. And Richmond are not that good either, but Toby Nankervis is a good ruckman. The thing is, though, Essendon, like, Matt Flynn got a bit lucky here. Like, he was going up against Sam Draper, who's rucking his first game of the year, and then, of course, he got injured. So I didn't even watch the second half, so I don't know who he was rucking against once Sam Draper got injured, but it wasn't a ruckman, I can tell you that. It was probably a key forward. It's maybe like Peter Wright or something. I don't know who it was, to be honest. Again, I didn't watch it. I only watched the first half. But yeah, then Jared Witt scored the 87. Well, he scored 87 against Jared Witt, who is a good ruck. So look, I think he gets up to 400k, probably. Like projected in 3 weeks, if he just scores 76, 85, 67, all which would be his lowest scores of the year so far. given he scored the 87 as his lowest currently, and that projects him to get to 378. I think he does about an 85 average, and I think he probably does get up to about 400k within about 3 or 4 weeks' time. So maybe 5 or 6 weeks, but regardless, he can stay for now. To be honest, again, if DeConning is if Pitnet's named, I'm not going to even hesitate. So nearly flipped up my phone. If Pitnet is named, DeConning's going, and we are boosting, and we're getting in. I'll show you guys who we're getting in. Want M. Pelly, welcome back to the team. Well, he hasn't been here this year, but he was last year. And we're going Marcus Montempelli in. No, I'm just joking. I actually would love to get Marcus Montempelli in, but he's too much money, and I need to plug up the holes in this team with some other places. So we're going in Zach Butters instead. Zach Butters, 658. Okay, no, he's too expensive as well. Now, to be honest, if we did do this, we probably would go Dacos, given he's got a 50 break even. But there are a few other guys who are looking good. Again, not this week, not right now. But why did Jordan Clark go back there? Okay, let me do this again. So there are a few guys who are looking interesting. Like Jack Sinclair just scored a 70, so his break even's 180 now. Dane Zorko non-own is a kissed because, a 171 break even just lost 45k. You'll probably be able to get this guy for near 500k. Oh my gosh. When I went and paid 590 for him. Like Andrew Brayshaw has been going really well, but his run does start to get tougher now. So, like, you look at it, like, his run was pretty easy to start. Geelong, Sydney are pretty tough, but again, he didn't even go amazing against them, averaging 103 after those two. And then West Coast, Dogs, Richmond, Melbourne. I mean, Dogs are a hard matchup, but it was at Optus, so that favoured him. But the other ones, West Coast, Richmond, Melbourne, quite easy games. And yeah, his run starts to get tougher now. So, Whitfield, oh my gosh, this guy's insane. Like, literally, He just like if you're going to talk about stat padding, look no further than this guy right here. But in saying that, his stat padding also has impact. So maybe he's not a stat padder. Maybe he's just a good player. So yeah, he should hopefully cop the James Jordan tag. Hopefully, maybe he scores maybe a 60 against him. Maybe we can pick him up for 550k in 5 weeks' time. I don't know, but he's not really attainable right now. So who else are we looking at? I don't know. I really don't know. So Jordan Dawson, I think, is probably one I'm thinking about. 524k should hopefully go down again. His break even is 137. Scored the 113 on the weekend. It's really just that one bad game he had, so I'm fine with bringing him in again. And that was off, I think, a 5-day break or something like that. And Geelong's also a pretty tough matchup, so I'm fine with bringing him in. It's just that we got to wait one more week, so I think we will get him in next week. We may have to boost to do that. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see. And yeah, at the flex position, we're going to go. Who did we say? Yeah, Matt Flynn. So that's going to be our trade in this week. Oh, actually, I really want Matt Flynn. Oh, that's because I put out DeConning. So take out DeConning. Put who back? Who did I trade out? Oh, I think this just messed up. I don't know what just happened. Okay. So we're going to do, I'll just do that again quickly. So just to show you guys how we're lining up this week. So Kako, out. Trainer, out. Holmes. No, not Holmes. Bailey Smith, forward. Max Holmes. No, not Max Holmes, defense. Oh, yeah, Harry Sheezel, midfield. And then it's Jordan Clark, back. And then it is Matt Carroll from Carlton. And it is Matt Flynn from West Coast. Matt Flynn. Complete trades. And that means we've got a bit of a bank for next week, 140k, which should come in handy for getting someone like Jordan Dawson. So yeah, next week I'm probably targeting Zach Reid out, and I'm hoping Sarters comes back this week. It gets to maybe 240k, or probably not 240, probably like 220k. If he scores a 40, he gets 24k. He should hopefully get more than that, but maybe he's sub or something, so I've got no clue. But yeah, so maybe Sarters out for 220k, Reid out for like 280k, and then we get Dawson next week, and we pick up as a rookie. I don't even know whoever they'll be next week. You got guys like Elijah Hewitt who are looking interesting. I mean, George Hewitt is killing it right now. Oh my gosh, this is like the number one player in the game. He's going crazy. This guy, like if you started him, my goodness. But I think again, Carlton just had an extremely easy 2 weeks. 132, 171. It does get tougher now, obviously. So, and Elijah Hewitt also going really well, 97. You could probably still wait a week. He's only scored the 22 still in his price cycle. But then Melbourne and Richmond, again, he's looking really good. But like realistically, 52, 58, 22. Like I'm not super enthusiastic about him. Guys like Bailey Humphrey, if you did trade him in, this is why I hate trading him in prices. I'm scared to trade in Matt Flynn. But at least a guy like Matt Flynn is like I was confident enough to start him, and it's only that he got dropped and he looked like he wasn't going to get back in the team. Like if he was playing, I would be confident to have him still. He's come back, he's put in a good score, so I'm happy to go with Flynn still. But Bailey Humphrey, Flynn has got the injury concern. He still does, but yeah, I don't know. Bailey Humphrey, look, he's gone backwards in price, and now he's got Sydney and Brisbane. He scored a 48 against Richmond, who you were probably hoping he turned up against. Like, this is a disastrous pick if you went him. And it's a reason why I hate picking mid prices like that. Marich, I think, again, because if you remember, I think it was after like round three, a lot of people were debating, is it Marich or is it Humphrey? It reminded me of when people like in 2018, sicko mode or lucid dreams, Marich or Humphrey. But to be honest, the answer was, I mean, probably Marich if you were looking at one of them. But probably overall neither I would be happy with. I mean, he's made you, if you traded him in here, he's made you 120k. You'd probably be fine with that, I would say. But I mean, two trades to get him out. Like Flynn, now that he's in the team, I'm anticipating he gets to hopefully 400k at least, 140k. I mean, Marich only has a 54 break even. He'll probably make 140k. He'll probably get up to 420k. So I guess yeah, Marich was a good trade in. To be fair, scored a 91 this week actually. I didn't realize he went that well. So probably a good trade in. But yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. And then if we just do teams this week, like I want to say Reed's not touching my field again, but like I don't know, who am I really confident in more, Pryor or Reed? It's like on ability, probably Pryor, but he just feels like he gets underscored every week until last week. So I don't know. It's I don't know. Probably not Carroll, but yeah. Who else are we going? Hopefully Carroll's not the sub. He shouldn't be, but we'll see. Sartis, I think Sartis gets a game, and if he does, I want him on field over Nevitt. I think Nevitt gets dropped. I mean, he should. Clay Hall should come back. Like, seriously, Andrew McQualter goes and says during the week, oh, we're going to play our young guys. Proceeds to drop Clay Hall, proceeds to make Tom Gross sub. Like, what is this, playing our young midfielders? Like, what is the guy on about? Terrible coaching move. Like Tom Gross, I guess, was to give him a rest. Like sure, and everything. But how can you drop Clay Hall? I think I looked it up. He had about 26 touches in the waffle. So I don't know if they had any injuries, but I'm assuming he may be the first guy to come back in. Tom Cole also played well for them though, so maybe he comes back in. And who else do we have here? Yeah, Palpepper Smith. I love playing Sam Palpepper. I want to, but I think I've got to prioritize playing Smith over him. But to be honest, Levi or Sam Palpepper? Sam Palpepper has North Melbourne. Levi has St Kilda. They've actually both got good matchups. If I could play both, I would. I mean, maybe I could bench one of these guys. Like maybe I just bench a Bailey Smith for a week, play Palpepper. That just doesn't look right though. Like the thing is, I can't. I would love to put Lindsay or Sartis to the bench, and I've been trying the combinations, but I just can't. I don't have any forward mids DPP that is still in the midfield, so I can't put any of these guys down, sadly. So yeah, I think what I'll just do is I'll bench Levi for the week. Just because Sam Pepper's got that easy matchup. But who knows? Maybe it's the week he scores 20 or something. Again, who knows? Captaincy. Zorko against St Kilda is a good matchup, but he's just so out of form. Clark against Adelaide, probably not. Roberts against Gold Coast, probably not. Jane Short against Melbourne is a good matchup, but he just floats out of the second half too much. That should actually be a good game, though. Melbourne v Richmond. Probably a pretty close game as well, you would think. Bice against Gold Coast, probably not. Pryor against Collingwood, probably not. Sheasel against Port Adelaide, probably not. I mean, if he plays back, yeah, but he's probably not going to. Max Holmes against Carlton, probably not. Will Ashcroft against St Kilda. Again, we've got, like I was talking about before, the St Kilda midfield gives up a lot of points to opposition midfielders. So you could. And I mean, he's not going to get the win tag, obviously. He's probably going to go to Lockie Neal. So you could. I would think about it, but I wouldn't be confident enough to captain him. It would have to be a vice captain. Chera against Geelong, probably not. Rosie is a guy I'd be happy to vice captain against North. Shouldn't get tagged. Should just rack it up. Hopefully score 120 at least. So I'd be happy to captain him. I mean, if you had Butters, you would love a Butters matchup this week against North Melbourne. You'd be smelling blood pretty much this week. Clayton Oliver against Richmond. Look, hopefully he does well, but I'm not gonna put a vice captaincy on him. Lindsay neither. Sartis, I mean, who knows if he plays even, but probably not. DeConning, look, DeConning might not be in the team this week if Bittner gets named, so probably not. Playing his brother though, but his brother's probably not going to be rucking. The last time he did though, he did get 170 against Geelong. Anyway, Cherry played well this week, but playing in Adelaide Oval against Jordan Sweet, and Jordan Sweet has been quite restrictive this year, so I won't go with him. Horn Francis, playing his old team, probably not. Just not, just not confident enough to captain. McRae against Brisbane, probably not out of form. Rankin against Fremantle, probably not. Smith against Carlton, probably will cop George Hewitt attention, or maybe Max Holmes will. One of them will probably cop George Hewitt attention. Caleb Daniel, when really actually it's a bit contradictory because George Hewitt is the guy who should be getting tagged. The guy's popping off so much right now. Caleb Daniel against Port Adelaide. Low key, he probably would be a good captaincy option. I mean, what did he get? He was at Adelaide Oval a few weeks ago, wasn't he? He scored 116. He's actually a pretty safe captain. I mean, he scored 116 3 times this year. Remarkable consistency. And 3 sub-tons in the other games. But I wouldn't probably captain him. Pal Pepper. Yeah, against North. Low key could captain Pal Pepper. I could see him just going to like a Luke McDonald in the back half, shutting him down, kicking 4 goals himself, and just dropping a 140. Not gonna lie. He loves North Melbourne. He loves them. Average of 90 against North Melbourne. That's the highest of any team, it looks like. So, I mean, he's played these ones already, but yeah. I mean, he's kicked 4 goals in the last 2 weeks. So, like a decent amount, for his role. And he's only had the 27 touches. 27 touches for 200 points is amazing efficiency when you think about it. Only 4 goals. 27 touches, 4 goals for 200 points. That's actually a really good ratio. So, Levi not going to captain. Caden Cleary not going to captain. Matt Flynn, who's he got? Hawthorn. Low keep wouldn't be the worst captain, not going to lie. But Hawthorn will want to make a big statement game, so you would assume they'd probably win this one by. I mean, they'd want to win by as much as possible, obviously. I guess every team would want to always win by as much as possible. But you would think Hawthorn probably wins that one by at least 50. Okay, so based off that, I think I want to go Rosie VC, and I want to go into. I think everyone else is not that good an option captaincy wise this week. I just don't really have that many good captains, in my opinion. So I'm going to just go. It's tough. It's really tough. I would actually go Cherry, but he's in the same game, so I can't. So instead, it might be. You know what? Oh no, actually, I can't go Pal Pepper. He's in the same game. I was about to say Pal Pepper slap the captaincy on him, but I can't. I've got quite a few people playing that Port Adelaide North Melbourne game, don't I? Okay, it's gonna have to be someone else. We'll go. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll go Will Ashcroft vice captain. Hopefully he wants to go well. I know he's a prideful guy. You have 13 touches, your team loses by 50 points. He's gonna want out and he's gonna want to come out and show out. Shouldn't get attention or anything, obviously, from Windhager. I'm gonna go Will Ashcroft VC into Connor Rosie captaincy, and that should be easy to loop with. Yeah, Camporeale plays on the Sunday. Probably won't play, but his team plays on the Sunday. Okay, that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. Otherwise, let me just see. What are some big people that are getting traded out early so far? Again, I'm recording this at like Monday at like 9 o'clock. But yeah, Murray's. Oh my gosh, Murray's has been such a terrible pick. Imagine if you went Murray's over Bice. Such a terrible decision. But again, how are we meant to know in hindsight? Bice would drop a 124. You weren't really. So yeah, Dacos, yeah, looks like a really good pick. Hopefully he gets slowed down for my sake. Probably won't, but it is what it is. Yeah. Petrarca, honestly, not too bad. Could look for him against Richmond this week. What did he score? 94. Look, he still hasn't turned up. 3 90s in a row, but he still hasn't turned up. So, I'm fine with avoiding him. He's not going to kill me, even if he goes a 120 or 130 this week. Won't go up by that much. And if he does, I'm happy to pay 500k for him. So, what's his break even, by the way? Quitting Petrarca. I know some people were looking at Dylan Moore as well, but he also didn't go that well. So 95 break even for Petrarca. Dylan Moore, 120 break even. He does have an easy matchup for the next few weeks. So he's got a West Coast matchup this week. I mean, you'd want him to score at least 3 goals on them. But yeah, only the 36 on Geelong. Did he have midfield time? A little bit, maybe a little bit more than usual, but not that much more. I don't know. I haven't seen the stats, so maybe it was the same actually. But he's got 3 good matchups in a row now: West Coast, Richmond, Melbourne. I just don't see it though, personally, with him. I think Hawthorn need him forward too much, to be honest. So who knows? I mean, maybe Jack Donovan comes back in, so maybe they can put him more into the midfield. I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, this is how we're gonna line up this week. Levi on the bench looks wrong. Guy's averaging about 90 the last 3 weeks, but I just really want to field Sam Pepper this week. Like if I could get these two guys off the field, I would love that, but I just can't make it work, DPP. Anyway, I've rambled on too much. I will let you guys go. Have a great Monday night, the rest of your long weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.